Navy, Stanford, and Michigan continue to reign supreme in conference championships, plus upcoming competitions and updates from around the globe. For those new here, my name is Kinsley. I'm the host of Neutral Deductions, a podcast all about men's gymnastics. Today, we'll be focusing on everything that happened in the NCAA conference championships, and there is so much to dive into.
This is the Neutral Deductions podcast, men's gymnastic news, coverage, and analysis. Hosted by Kinsley Beal.
First, we're starting off in the Big Ten. So the Big Ten Championships is the only one of the three conference championships in men's gymnastics to use a two-day format. Illinois hosted the Big Ten Championships, where Michigan claimed their fourth straight Big Ten title and their 21st in program history. Coming into the meet, many expected there to be a tight battle between Michigan, Illinois, and Nebraska. Ohio State just didn't have the depth this year to challenge the top three, and Penn State has been depleted all year due to injuries. Nebraska started strong on vault, where they led the competition, but things fell apart in the second rotation, where they had to count 3 scores in the 12s on parallel bars. Unfortunately, it created a deficit that they just weren't able to recover from. Michigan got the start in Olympic order, where Captain Paul Judah led the Wolverines with a 14.75. Though they were trailing from the start, the Wolverines managed to win over Illinois by over 4 points in the end. Nebraska took third, Ohio State fourth, and Penn State came in fifth. Despite a fall in the final rotation on high bar, Fred Richard managed to win the all-around with a total of 83.90. Event finals took place on night 2 of the competition, and Fred Richard ended up withdrawing from all event finals that he had qualified for. Michigan's Landon Blixt and Illinois' Connor McCool won floor with a 14.5. Illinois' freshman Brandon Dang took the pommel horse title with a 14.8. Ashton Anaya from Illinois took his third straight rings title with a 14.2. Illinois' Amari Sewell won vault with a 14.825. Crew Bold from Michigan won parallel bars with a 14.550. And rounding out the final 6 was Penn State's Michael Giroux, who won high bar with a 14.325. Moving over to the MPSF Championships that was hosted at Oklahoma, there was no question that heading into this championship that title would come down to Stanford and Oklahoma. Now, Stanford had put up bigger scores this season, but OU was competing at home. And in the end, Stanford won its third title in a row, over 4 points ahead of the host team with a massive 422.7. Cal took third, and Air Force finished in fourth. The individual titles were split between OU and Stanford. Coy Young won the all-around with an 86.350, which was the highest all-around score of the weekend. He also took home titles on vault and parallel bars. Asher Hung won silver rings with a big 15.0, and he did not end up competing in the all-around title this weekend. Emily Dodonley of OU won floor with a 14.95. Ignacio Yockers won pommel horse with a 15.15, and Kelton Christensen won horizontal bar with a 14.1. The final championship of the weekend was the ECAC championship. Navy won an impressive 6 titles in a row, and they did so by beating Greenville by 8.45 points. Springfield took home third, Army fourth, William & Mary fifth, and Simpson rounded out the competition in 6th. Isaiah Drake won the all-around. Riley Rose won rings and high bar, and Matthew Petrus won parallel bars. Zach Connolly of Greenville won floor. Logan Watterson of Greenville won vault, and Peyton Kramer of Springfield was excellent on pommel horse, taking home that title. So following the conference championships, the NCAA selection committee announced those competing at the NCAA championships in a few weeks. The full roster of 12 teams plus the individuals can be found on neutraldeductions.com if you're interested in looking at that full list. Just a couple of things to highlight though. So Stanford leads the pack ahead of Oklahoma, Michigan, Illinois, and Nebraska. The final team that is probably going to look to find a spot in the final team competition is going to be a very tight battle between Ohio State and Penn State. I do want to give a special shout out to Greenville University, which is a program that is only in their second year. They earned a spot to compete at the national championships with a team of only freshmen and sophomores, and what they have done is exceptional, and they have a bright future ahead. 5 all-arounders were invited to compete, led by Aiden Kai from William & Mary, and several other athletes were invited as event specialists, including Franco Perano on floor, Maddox Pabellon on pommel horse, Nico Greenlee on still rings, Sam Lee on vault and parallel bars, and Ricky Paislem on high bar. The NCAA competition will take place April 19th and 20th and will be streamed live on ncaa.com. There are several upcoming championships happening in April. April is going to be a busy month for those who are interested in watching more gymnastics around the globe. So the All Japan Championships is going to be happening April 11th through 14th, and this is very significant for the Japanese team in terms of selecting the Olympic team. Now, Hashimoto Daiki has already been selected due to winning the all-around at the 2023 World Championship, so he doesn't have to worry about it. However, several of the other athletes, this competition is critical for their bid to competing in Paris. So the men will be competing on Friday, April 12th and Sunday, April 14th, and that will be streamed live as well. The final of the World Cup Series for individual event specialists to earn a spot to compete at Paris will be happening April 17th through 20th in Doha. The NCAA Championship is happening April 19th through 20th. The Pacific Rim Championship is happening April 21 through 28 in Colombia. And the European Championships is happening April 24th through 28th in Italy. So be prepared for a packed month of gymnastics. In other news from around the globe, Courtney Tulloch, who is a bronze medalist with Team Great Britain at the World Championships, he found out that he and his partner are having a baby girl, so congratulations to them. The British and Swiss teams have selected European teams to be competing in Italy at the end of April. The Olympic selection procedures for 9 out of the 12 teams have been posted on our website at neutraldeductions.com. So if you're interested in knowing how different teams from around the world are going to be selecting their Olympic teams, you can find out that information. And then finally, Max Whitlock, multi-time Olympic gold medalist, has announced that Paris will be his last competition. So whether or not he makes a team, this is going to be his last Olympic run. So as someone who has been incredibly important to the sport, the first pommel horse gold medalist Olympian for Great Britain, he's a wonderful gymnast, a wonderful athlete, and we wish him all the best in his run up to Paris and beyond. So if you would like to rate and review us, we would definitely appreciate that on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcast. It helps others find Neutral Deductions and learn more about men's gymnastics. If you would like to help bring more live men's gymnastics coverage, please consider donating. We are entirely listener supported at this point, and even $10 can help us cover a meal. We are headed to Colorado Springs in May for the national team camp, so if you are able and willing to help bring this coverage to life, the PayPal link is in every show note and at the bottom of every article on neutraldeductions.com. You can donate via PayPal or Stripe. If you have any questions, comments, or insider tips, you can email us at neutraldeductions@gmail.com. That's all for this week. We'll see you next time.